In this video, we will be learning how to read a blueprint and complete an in-process inspection. We will be using Mueller Part 500661 as an example. First, you should take a moment to look at the blueprint in your workpiece. You can orient the part as it is on the print to guide you through the inspection. This will make it easier to identify where the measurements are. Now that we're ready to begin our inspection, let's take a look at our in-process inspection sheet. We will go through each check one by one. Begin your check by writing down your initials, the date, the time. Our first check on our sheet says the dimension is 0.875 and is described as OAL, which stands for overall length. Using this information, let's find that dimension on our blueprint. The dimension is now highlighted and shows the overall length of the part. In this instance, we are going to use calipers for this check. Remember though, there are a variety of different ways to check measurements. After taking a measurement, be sure to document it on your in-process inspection sheet. Each dimension is given a tolerance. For this measurement, we are given plus or minus 16 thousandths from the nominal dimension. To find your tolerance on your print, it will either be specified on the dimension itself, or labeled down in the box in the bottom right corner as shown. This indicates that all dimensions are plus or minus 16 thousandths unless noted different. Our next check is in brackets, which means we have created our own nominal dimension and, in this case, shrunk the tolerance. The description says OD, which stands for outer diameter. Let's see if we can find it on the print even though we have changed the dimension on our in-process inspection sheet. The OD is now highlighted and called out as 1 inch, not 0.998, like it is on our inspection sheet. That's okay though because we have shrunk the tolerance from 16 thousandths down to 4 thousandths for our own fixturing, so it's still well in tolerance according to the blueprint. Since this measurement is a tighter tolerance, we are going to be using a micrometer instead of calipers. A micrometer is more precise than calipers. Now we document our check and move on to the next one, which is a go, no-go. On the blueprint, it's called out as R.125. The R stands for radius, and is pointing to the curve on the corner of the part. It's a go, no-go, so we are going to use the 1/8 radius gauge as shown. There's no gap where the corner of the part and the gauge meet, so the check is a go. Next, we have a couple of knurl depths to check. The 0.188 depth and the 0.094 depth. For this check, we are going to use the optical comparator. Measure from the end of the part over to where the knurl begins. Check the other side, and document both dimensions on your check sheet. Now we are going to check our minor diameter, which has a smaller tolerance, because it is specified on the blueprint. For this measurement, we are going to use the inner diameter part of our calipers. Now we have another go, no-go check, which is the actual thread of the minor diameter we just checked. Take your gauge and gently screw in the go side. The gauge should go all the way in with little resistance, and the no-go side should not screw in more than a full thread. We will be using the height stand for our bore depth dimension. Zero out on the top of the part, and then descend down to the bottom of the bore. This check, like many others, can be done multiple ways. We have another minor diameter check, which is the minor diameter for the thread on the next operation. On this next radius check, you'll notice it has a plus or minus 5 thousandths on our in-process inspection, instead of a go, no-go like the previous one. So instead of a radius gauge, we will be checking this one on the micro view. Our final check, which is just a visual, wants us to ensure that the knurl looks deep enough, clean, and not doubled up. It should have small, uniform diamonds all the way around the part. This finishes up an Operation 100 part check. The in-process inspection is to be documented hourly on every job in the shop, unless told otherwise. While running, it doesn't hurt to check your gauges, or check some of the simple dimensions during your cycle time. You don't have to document those, but it will make it easier to keep everything in tolerance as you get comfortable running the job, reading the blueprint, and doing your inspection.